On today's video, we're going to talk about the number one question that I'm getting from people who are considering relocating, and that is, where do I start? What's the best process to help me make a decision? Well, that's the topic of today's video. My name is Todd Jewell, and me and my team receive calls and emails every day from people just like you who are looking to make that move to Knoxville. We love to hear from you. We don't care if you're looking to move immediately. If you're not going to be moving for a year, it's never too early, it's never too late to go ahead and get that process started so that we can help make your move as easy and stress-free as possible. All right, let's get to it. So it doesn't really matter whether you're sure you're going to relocate, whether you're just considering relocating, or if you're sure you're going to be moving to a certain location, say Knoxville, or if you're considering 5 or 6 locations. The first thing you need to do in all of those scenarios is some of your own research. So if you're looking to move to Knoxville, I would strongly encourage you to go online, find as much information about Knoxville that you can find. Go on YouTube, watch multiple videos, because only you know the areas that are really important to you. When you're looking at research about an area, the first thing you need to do is look at the source. Make sure that there isn't an ulterior motive to the spin or direction that they're coming from. You know, if I was someone who was concerned about, say, weather, practically just take your weather app on your phone, put Knoxville in, and compare the weather where you are and what it is here today. Let me cover some areas that I think you need to make sure that when you are doing your research, that you look into. As you're doing your research, make a list of questions that are generated from this research. There's going to be some areas that it's going to be surprising that's very difficult to find information on. So if there's an information gap somewhere, make sure and write that down so that that's something we can cover in the future. Now, let's talk about a few areas that I think you definitely need to do some research into. First on that list are going to be the medical facilities in an area. I don't talk to anyone who isn't concerned about medical facilities. You know, if I'm working with, and I do work with a lot of folks who are retirement age or just pre-retirement, obviously as we age, the medical facilities that surround us become much more important. So make sure and do a lot of research. You know, you can put in different parts of Knoxville and you can look around that on a Google map and look at the hospitals. Young families are the same way. They also want to know if there's an emergency room close and something in case something happens. Do research into medical facilities if that's something that's important to you, and I'm sure it probably is. Secondly, you need to also do some research into the different activities and entertainment based on what you enjoy doing. So, you know, it may be that you are someone who loves to get out and walk. You love to get out and relax in the outdoors a little bit. Being close to some really substantial parks may be really important to you. Maybe you have young children, like the couple I was working with yesterday. And one of the things that they want to make sure that they can do is easily walk from their home with their children in a stroller and hit the greenway there in Farragut. So these are things that you want to research into. What amenities are important to me? What amenities are available in the area and in the city that I'm considering? If you're not sure about Knoxville, but say you're considering Knoxville, you're considering Nashville, maybe you're considering somewhere up in Virginia, whatever, wherever those things are, then you have to look in a little broader area. Just look and make sure that those things are available in this and around the city and where the amenities are located, and that will help you narrow down neighborhoods that you may want to locate into. Those types of things are really important because, yeah, they're not the home, but they are very important to the things that you enjoy doing today. I tell people all the time, I say, what's important for me to be looking into? What do you enjoy doing where you are today? What do you want to improve on where you are today? And then do the research into those areas and see if they exist and the potential move that you're going to make. And if so, that should make it much easier for you because everybody's different. Everybody has their own sets of wants and needs. Shopping, grocery stores, and not just shopping. When I say shopping, people think, well, I don't shop a lot. Okay, great, but you do go to pharmacies. We go to grocery stores. Some people like a Whole Foods, maybe you like a Trader Joe's, maybe you want a Costco. Do some research into the areas and make sure that those things exist if they're important to you. Lastly, I would say it's really important you try to find some people who have moved to the area. You try to find some people who have reviewed things from the area and see what they're having to say, because what that may do is create some real areas of concern. Now, here's a mistake I do not want you to make. You go online, You put some comments in somewhere in a group or whatever, You give back negative feedback, and that turns you off to an area. It may turn you off to West Knoxville. You hear, oh, the traffic's terrible. You say, oh, I looked and the crime stats there were terrible. Do some more research. Never use one source of information to rule out an area without doing what we're going to talk about that you need to do second after doing your research. After you've done some of your own research, you've got this list, right? You've created about questions, concerns, things that you couldn't find and you want to know about. The next most important thing you could do, and I mean you need to do this as soon as you get some part of a list put together, is you need to get online and find you someone that you're comfortable reaching out to as a relocation expert. Why do I say that? Some people would say, well, that's self-serving because that's what you are. Yes, it is, but I also understand the value that a relocation expert brings to the entire process. Now, notice I did not say you need to reach out to a realtor. You are not looking for someone who can open the door for you and sell you a piece of property at this time. You're looking for someone who obviously can do that, but what they're used to is working with people for months at a time, sometimes over the course of a year plus, to help them determine whether or not an area fits for them. Do not get house focused early in the process. You can really make a mistake and have some real buyer's remorse down the road if you focus too much just on the home. Everything else is much more important at this stage. This is the person that needs to answer those questions for you, needs to provide you with additional information. My job is to be an advisor, to be a partner with you in that process, and to help you determine whether or not Knoxville is the place you want to move. And then if it is, what's the right time and what's the right location for you specifically based on your budget and your needs. Now, I tell everyone it's never too early. Here's why I say that. You may reach out to someone if you wait a little late in the process. You start working with them and you realize, you know what? They way overpromise and way under-deliver in what they can do for me. Starting early gives you the option to make sure you find someone that you like working with. Maybe the person does a great job of what they're doing, but you just don't feel comfortable with them for some reason. It's very important that you find someone who has a lot of experience, who focuses on working with buyers and who focuses on working with buyers who are relocating from other states so that they're able to totally understand the process. You know, when someone says to you that local here to Knoxville, and if they grew up here, and maybe they've been a real estate agent for 30 years, and they say, oh, the West Knoxville traffic is terrible. When you come and you visit, you've already ruled that out based on what they told you, and they take you somewhere else. The reality of it is where you're coming from, Knoxville traffic isn't that bad at all. And you'd be very comfortable with it. So it's really important that this person is focused on what you are experiencing, where you are today, what you're looking to accomplish, and understanding that, not seeing it through their eyes, seeing it through your eyes. That's much, much more important. And then guiding you based on your needs, your wants, and your expectations. So number 3 on our list is going to be scheduling a discovery tour visit. Here's what that is. It is coming into Knoxville, and it is kind of being half tourist, meaning maybe you want to stay downtown. You want to visit Market Square. You want to see some of the things that are here today. Maybe you want to go visit some parks. You want to have a good time with the family. You want to get out and drive around. All that's fine. And at the same time, you're probably going to meet with me at some point while you're here. Maybe it's just for a cup of coffee to answer questions based on what you've gone out and already seen, helping you make decisions on where you spend some of that time exploring. Maybe you want me to take you on a tour, drive you around for half a day, show you where the things are that are important to you, and help you with that process. That is a relocation specialist job. That is my job. I get told over and over and over, well, we don't want to bother you with having to do that. We're not ready to buy anything yet. You need to find people, no matter where you're relocating, that are willing to invest the time into you. And that means showing you around while you're here if that's what you need. And for me, when I'm doing it, to get to know you better so that as we go on down this road together of getting you relocated, I can learn and make notes and keep good notes about what you really like, what you really enjoy. So a discovery tour visit is huge. I can take a video with the view that I've got right now that you can't see. That video would probably be pretty, but the reality of it is you're not going to feel the breeze. You're not going to know what it's like to be up here, and you're definitely not going to be able to take this view, and it's not going to have the same effect. You need to come see if that works for you. I spoke to a gentleman this week who was here last week. I didn't know it and had reached out and said, we want to relocate there. We'd like to do that, in the next 1 to 3 months. Not a problem. We can work with you that way. I'm just saying that may not be the best process in my opinion for you, but it's definitely a doable process. So don't reach out because it is late. Don't do that. Don't create some buyer's remorse for yourself down the road and headaches that you don't need to do. Get me involved. Get a relocation specialist involved to help you. The second part of this is after your discovery tour, you're going to have a second visit. Now we've got to schedule your visit to come back and look more seriously. When you come back for what I would call your buying visit, I encourage people to at least spend part of that time while they're here, stay in the area that they think they're going to live in. Find an Airbnb out in those areas. Get a feel for what it's like to be out there. Drive around in different parts of the time of the day one day. Those are the things that I encourage people to do, because when you get here and you relocate, I want you to be happy with your move. It's very, very important that you schedule a visit and that you get that relocation specialist that we talked about a few minutes ago involved in that with you and to help you through that process. As part of that visit, we do sometimes want to look at homes. It's okay to ask me to show you some homes or to ask your relocation specialist to show you some homes, simply because that way you can get a feel for what you get for your money. So if you're in the $350 range or the $500 range or the $1 million range, you can get an idea of what you're getting for your money, and that may help you in the process of determining if this is an area you'd want to relocate to. So one thing about a buy visit that I want to make sure you understand is that you may not buy a home while you're here. Even though you're in a position to, you're ready to, we've got everything in order to, it's very rare that we find the perfect home sometimes in a weekend. Inventory is low here and the homes are hard to find. I learn a lot about you while you're here because I'm going to be doing virtual showings with you. I'm going to be previewing a ton of homes every week for different people. Don't feel like a buy visit, a second or third visit, that there's a pressure to find the right home, because in my opinion, there's nothing more important unless you have a job deadline than patience in finding the right place for you if you're considering relocating. So, the one thing you did not see me talk about this entire time really are the exact houses. Do you want a 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom, whatever? Main mistake that I see is when I say, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for? I get a list of the home. People always seem to find it surprising that when I'm talking to them that I keep telling them the home is not as important right now. I know it is to you. We will find the right home for you. But what we need to do is make sure that the area and all of those things fit what you're looking for. And we need to make sure that I understand what those things are so that I can be the best partner I can be in helping you relocate. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Click that bell so you can be one of the first notified of the current market conditions here in Knoxville. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you around Knoxville soon.